Crowds on the streets of Gaza City. People came out in numbers to celebrate, relieved that the violence of the past few days was finally over. The cheers and whistles began at 2 a.m. local time as the ceasefire officially took effect and the skies remained calm. Israel's foreign ministry announced the truce after the country's security cabinet unanimously accepted the deal. But there were tense times shortly before it started. Rockets were still being fired from Gaza, and Israel's military carried out at least one strike. On the streets of Tel Aviv, there was a mixed response.
I think it's good. The ceasefire is good for humanitarian reasons, to let civilians relax a little bit on both sides. I'm skeptical, though, that it will really be kept for a while.
I think this ceasefire won't last 8 hours. They will start shooting gas rockets again.
Both Hamas and Israel are claiming victory in the conflict, but both sides suffered in the violence. Gaza's Hamas-controlled health ministry says at least 232 people, including more than 100 women and children, were killed in the fighting. And at least 12 people, including children, were killed in Israel after rockets managed to evade the country's Iron Dome defense system. US President Joe Biden said the ceasefire was a genuine opportunity for peace. He said Washington would now help replenish Israel's defense capabilities and help the Palestinian Authority with humanitarian aid and reconstruction in Gaza.
These hostilities have resulted in the tragic deaths of so many civilians, including children. And I send my sincere condolences to all the families, Israeli and Palestinian, who have lost loved ones, and my hope for a full recovery for the wounded.
But the scars of this conflict will take a long time to heal. And what was destroyed in just a few days will most likely take years to rebuild.
I'm joined now from Gaza City by journalist Hazem Balusha. Hazem, is the ceasefire there holding where you are?
So far, it is holding gradually. The Gaza streets are back to normal. Still, today is a weekend. Friday is one of the main weekend days in Gaza. Thousands of those who refused to UNRWA schools and to their friends and families' houses returned to their homes, especially those from the border areas in the northern Gaza Strip and eastern Bar. Some workers from the municipality are walking in the street of paving and taking out the rubble of the road. So gradually, so far, it is holding and life is going back.
Well, this must come as much of a relief for the residents in Gaza.
It is actually after 10 or 11 days of fighting and bombardment, Palestinians are relieved. They celebrated this partially from Hamas. They celebrated because it was a victory, according to them. For ordinary people, many of them they are relieved and celebrated because it's over and they survived this war.
Can you tell us anything about the terms of this ceasefire deal?
Well, according to the statement that issued from Egyptian side, that it is a ceasefire, and two delegations from Egyptian security will be sent to Gaza Strip and to Tel Aviv to discuss further details of permanent ceasefire between the both sides. Hamas is saying that the deal include that Israel would stop violation against Palestinians in Jerusalem, especially at Al-Aqsa Mosque and Sheikh Jarrah, but it wasn't clear in the statement that issued by the Egyptian side. So far, it's unclear on the details, but the most important for the people here and the residents in Gaza that it's over.
Yes, indeed. And now Hamas is, of course, portraying this as a victory. Will ordinary people in Gaza see it that way?
Some of the, I mean, Hamas has a popularity in Gaza, and according to many analysts, that Hamas popularity got up. Hamas. Some people are talking about that this battle was a kind of a victory for Hamas, as they this is the first time that the title of this war is not Gaza and the blockade imposed in Gaza, but Jerusalem. Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa Mosque is very important for Palestinians, not only in Gaza, but even elsewhere in the West Bank or in abroad. Some of the celebrations in Gaza and even in the West Bank clearly talked about that this is a very important moment for the Palestinians.
Has some 230 people killed there, thousands more displaced, infrastructure destroyed. How long will it take Gaza to recover from this?
From previous experiences, that the reconstruction would take years. Now is the struggle about excuse me. So part of the deal is that Egypt announced about $500 million would be donated, whether directly from Egypt or from other countries. But some of the houses that they were destroyed and buildings from 2014 still unrebuilt yet. So these things is the most difficult for the ordinary people. Devastating is not clear enough how bad is that. Definitely there were at least four high buildings were destroyed. Many houses were destroyed across the Gaza Strip. So these and many of the infrastructure in the Gaza Strip as well that were damaged. So these will take some time. The most important part is the money. So the money, once the money comes from the donors, it will start. But definitely it will take years.
All right, Hassan Balouch in Gaza, thanks very much for that. Now let's turn to Tel Aviv, where DW correspondent Dana Regev is standing by. Dana, is the ceasefire holding there too? And how are Israelis reacting?
Yes, Rebecca, well, the ceasefire so far has been holding. No rockets have been launched into Israel from the Gaza Strip. Most people here in Israel welcome this ceasefire with open hands. Much like the people in Gaza, they are also happy that this escalation of violence is over. However, we do hear some voices who express concern regarding the terms of the peace, of the truce. They're not sure what is included. Like my colleague here from Gaza said, we also don't know. Nothing was published here officially. We do hear some critical voices of why the bodies of two soldiers that are being held in Gaza, as well as an Israeli civilian who is believed to be alive there, why they were not included in this truce. Otherwise, most people are very happy about it.
And how is this being seen politically? Is there much public support for the government?
Yes, well, there are really mixed reactions about this. On the one hand, Netanyahu sees this as an achievement. All over the media, there are publications of claiming that Israel has reached its targets, even if it's unknown what the targets really were, that it really hit the ability of Hamas to launch rockets. But it also needs to be said that because Netanyahu called this truce unconditional, then it's also a bit difficult to judge him about what these conditions really are. Once they will be revealed or exposed, then he will probably face harsher criticism. Politically, in the long run, nobody in Israel or in Gaza dares to even imagine something like a peace agreement or renewed Oslo Accords.
Now that external peace looks like it will hopefully return, what about internal divisions between Jewish Israelis and Arab Israelis?
Yeah, this is here where I stand in Jaffa, which is at the southern part of Tel Aviv, is a mixed area, and this is probably going to be the most difficult thing to repair here. In only 11 days, the trust that people shared or had in one another has been damaged so deeply. People were lynched, as we've seen in previous days, in the streets. People got killed from gunfire in the middle of Israeli cities with mixed communities. So the municipalities themselves, as well as the government and local citizens that will have to remain alongside each other for years, the same way they have been living alongside each other for decades, they will have a lot of work to do to restore the trust and that people have in one another, and that was lost.
Indeed. DW correspondent Dana Regev speaking to us from Tel Aviv. Thank you.